This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and fire. We keeping a foot on the whoop, yeeks. We keeping a foot on the whoop, yeeks. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, man. I like the Siberian Tiger that I am. I'm applying whoop on immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Let's talk about it. Caleb Plant is smart. And the reason why Caleb's Plant is smart is because he's seeking out the right counsel. The Al Heyman counsels of the world. Now we see more recently Andre Ward's of the world. Caleb Plant is not putting himself in a precarious situation. See, this is what helps you when you are part of PBC. When you're part of the Al Heyman lineage, you learn how to be a guy that governs your affairs. You learn how to be an independent contractor. You learn how to understand that when it's all said and done, self-preservation is the law of the land. And Caleb Plant's not looking to have what these previous Cinammon, Horchata, and Alvarez fighters, these cherry pickers he picked, these wounded animals he picked, these paid to lose that he picked, these super paid to lose that he picked, these boxing judging gifting decisions that he picked, the rehydration clause that he picked. He's not looking to have that fate. Caleb Plant is just asking for things to be done on fair terms. And he's asking for a full week of training camp. 9 to 13 weeks. This is what fighters fucking need in order for them to be at their fucking best. We're not gonna rehydrate me, put a fucking clause on that bullshit. You need to fight me at my best. If Cinammon, Horchata, and Alvarez is every bit the fighter that people say that he is, then why not do that? Now we know he's popping for PEDs. This fight should be suspended. Cinammon, Horchata, and Alvarez should be stripped. Caleb Plant should win off of the strength of disqualification for a guy popping peds. We've seen this before. When Deontay Wilder went up against Alexander Povetkin, they suspended Povetkin, and after they suspended Povetkin, they made sure that his ass suffered because he wanted to be a fucking cheater. So this guy right here gets the skate off of his teeth. I mean, when you accept the WBC French fry belt, when you're a guy who accepts that win, lose, or draw, you're still a champion nevertheless, that's not the element of competition. When I should have known, but I've always known, and y'all should have known, that when a guy has ducked Jamal Charlo, Lions only since 2000 and calendar fucking 3, has ducked Demetrius Andrade, which is the easiest fight to make because they both represent the zone. Now, especially, it's even easier because Canelo Alvarez is no longer under the Oscar de la Hoya Golden Boy. He's just the zone. And it's Eddie Hearn. Isn't Eddie Hearn running Demetrius Andrade's career? Easy peasy fucking fight to make. But they say Demetrius Andrade's boring. Translation, he'll box Cinammon, Horchata, and Alvarez ears off. They don't want that. They don't want that embarrassment. They don't want that black elite fighter experience. Floyd, he's left Cinammon, Horchata, and Alvarez with PTSD. It's called Black Elite Fighter PTSD. Notice these wayward 50-50 black boxers are even calling his ass out. First it was the Chihuahua barking behind the damn fence in Bud Crawford, but he retracted because he had to do the yes master. His Jerry Heller basically, i.e. Bob Arum to his fucking Eazy-E said, hey, total fucking line. And that's what he fucking did. Devin Haney now, he's gonna 50-50, shifty. He's going to basically go right back and apologize at some point. But look, he's calling him out. Because these boxers are the ones that are actually in this dirty sport of economics, politics, and pugilism. They know what goes behind the scenes with the three-pronged monster. They can try to play like they don't. They can try to sit there and act like shit doesn't fucking happen. But this sport is dirty, man. So you have to applaud a Caleb Plant who rants and says all of the things that he says. And then now Cinammon, Horchata, and them are threatening to stop the fight. Who gives a flying fuck? I don't care if they do that. Because when it's all said and done, if your intentions were to cheat, if your intentions were to have an unfair advantage because you know you're going to be in there with sweet hands, you're going to be in there with somebody that can actually fight, somebody that can box, somebody that's not gonna just go there and lay the fuck down, then it's the things that make you say, It's the things that make you say, But in its most cold-hearted, unadulterated, and cutthroat to fashion, it's as simple as this. That these fight fans want their cake and they want to eat it too. Notice Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez fanboys, i.e. Cinammon Alvarez fanboys, they're all beta males. You can't be a Canelo Alvarez fan and be an alpha male. They don't go hand in hand. Because alpha males don't cheat. Alpha males don't look for unfair advantage. Alpha males don't try to sit there and put everybody at a precarious situation so that they can be in a comfortable situation. They accept the competition. They accept basically their fate. They accept the element of having to go toe to toe against somebody. They don't give a flying fuck about that. But when we sit here, we look at the Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez, we see a fighter that is the LeBron James of boxing. And I don't mean that as a compliment. I actually mean that in the worst diss that you could ever mean it. Because LeBron James is a fraud in basketball. The biggest fraud the NBA's ever fucking seen. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest fraud in boxing. The biggest fraud boxing has ever seen. But fight fans are deluded. And the rules that they create, the rules that they perpetuate, the rules that they basically elevate for a Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez, those same rules do not fly for everybody else. Don't fly for Floyd Mayweather, a guy that gave Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez, like Bernard Hopkins eloquently said, a bachelor, PhD degree ass whooping. He beat the shit out of him. He washed, double washed, and triple washed his rabbit ass. And Canelo, and what we would say, Mr. Clin, or Clin Alvaroids, was on that shit, and Floyd still beat the shit out of his ass. Walking around at 175, Floyd was barely 152. Beat the living shit out of him. And they say Earl the Chief Spence can't beat the shit out of Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez. The motherfucker's flat-footed. He can't go past 6 rounds. And I told you guys about these overblown, overhyped fighters. Manny Pacquiao got exposed. Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez is next. He knows it. That's why he went out there and fucking cheat. The way that Manny Pacquiao got the shit beaten out of him by Dennis Ugas, it woke up Cinammon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez. He's like, shit, I'm fighting another boxer in sweet hands. And guess who was there at the Dennis Ugas Manny Pacquiao fight, who was basically getting that energy in him, getting that aura in him, because he wants to also do it too. It was Caleb Plant. Let me tell you guys something. It's called boxing for a reason. It's a pugilistic sport. This ain't backyard brawling. This ain't that bullshit come forward style that these Mexican people love. This is fighting. It's boxing. It's hit and don't get fucking hit. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention or listening, but Caleb Plant got them fucking hands and he can box. And it's smart of him to seek out legends. Bending the proverbial fucking knee, kissing the ring while he's headed to an Andre Ward. That is hella smart. Because if that's what's going to save him, and that's what's going to give him that added advantage, because he knows he's still going to be at a disadvantage nevertheless, because of the level of cheating opponent that's in front of him, then why not do that? And you guys want to vilify him for pointing out the obvious. This ain't no damn BJ Saunders. This ain't no damn Caleb Smith. This ain't no damn Sergey Kovalev. This is not these types of individuals that have laid the fuck down and basically allowed Canelo Alvarez to dictate the terms. I mean, it's so ridiculous how much they've done that. A cancer surviving patient, rehydrate. I mean, come on. If that's not disrespectful, I don't know what disrespectful is. Why would you do that to that type of fighter? All because you knew his son needed treatments, so you did that because you knew he needed the fucking money. And Daniel Jacobs, I'm gonna call you by your government name, you have no fucking shame. You are spineless for that shit. You care how much money you need. That was some spineless shit. When it's all said and done, this is what we're dealing with. in today's climate of boxing. But you got coon buffoons, guys that are getting rear fucking ended. That this is the reason why they're wheelchair bound. Guys that are gargling the cinnamon dust of an Alvarez ball sacks. Guys that are tossing the cinnamon dust of an Alvarez salad. Because they want subs and views, man. They gotta keep that shit up though. Once you go in that lineage, you can never go back. And saying these things that Canelo's great and he's this and he's that. But if he is, why is he not fighting Jamal Charlo? If he is, why is he not fighting Demetrius Andrade? If he is, why is he now trying to find ways to cripple Caleb Plant in any precarious situation? Because when you're great, you don't need all of these advantages. You just go in there and do what you gotta do. So when Caleb Plant rants, and Caleb Plant says all of the things that he says against a cinnamon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez, he is more than justified in doing that because he's telling a cold-hearted, he's telling a unadulterated, and he's telling a cutthroat to tell a fashion. And if only boxing fans had an ear to hear what is actually happening or what's been happening behind the scenes, then they would pay attention. Notice the whole Canelo team. This calls all of them in question, from Eddie Reynoso down, because they've all participated in this. That's why Oscar De La Hoya was loving the fact that he excoriated himself and removed himself from Canelo Alvarez. It's actually a weight off of his fucking shoulders because he does not have to sit there and pretend for this guy anymore. He doesn't have to sit there and be selective with, oh, let's make him fight this opponent because he doesn't want to fight that opponent. When Oscar De La Hoya took on all comers, it's actually disrespectful at the highest levels when you think about it. Bernard Hopkins, being the coon fucking buffoon that he is, and he still haven't learned, because coon buffoons don't learn. They just jump from one coon buffoon situation to the next coon buffoon situation. With him lying on Earl the True Spence with the eye injury and all of this other stuff, yada, yada, yada. When it's all said and done, Caleb Plant gets the biggest salute of the damn day. He gets the biggest respect because he pointed out what needed to be fucking pointed out. And he wasn't afraid to say what everybody else was afraid to say. And that cinnamon dust of a Horchata and Alvarez is the biggest boxing fraud the boxing world has ever fucking seen. But newsflash, Caleb Plant, he knows everything's been saying this from day one. Before you even had the gumption, the thought process, and the audacity, and the cojones, and you do have the cojones because you calling this motherfucker out, the unmitigated gall to say what you're saying. He knows everything, was the first one to say it. That's why I call him a cinnamon dust of a Horchata of an Alvarez. And when I say Horchata, I don't mean it in the nicest ways. That's why Mexicans get mad at He Knows Everything, because they know when I say Horchata, it's the biggest disrespect that you could ever say. When it's all said and done, cinnamon dust of a Horchata of an Alvarez is always been what he's been, a cinnamon dust of a Horchata of an Alvarez. And anyone that supports him, that has a black skin, is a coon fucking buffoon. And they've lost all respect, all ability to talk about this cinnamon dust of a Horchata of an Alvarez. Caleb Plant, do not veer away from what you're doing, because you're telling a cold-hearted, you're telling an unadulterated, and you're telling a cutthroat true teller fashion. And the second you veer away, the second you let the foot off the gas, it's the second you stop keeping the foot on the whoop, yeeks. The second you stop keeping the foot on the whoop, yeeks, and like the Tibetan Mastiff that you are, like the Siberian Tiger that you are, you're applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It versus pipes. You stop doing that, then this guy's going to find a clause. He's going to find a loophole to screw you over. So keep that fucking pressure on his ass. And you boxing community fan bases, i.e. the Rudy fucking Poo of the worlds, the Plum Brains of the worlds, the Classic Goats of the worlds, the Troglodytes of the worlds, the Ultra fanboys and with the Ultra fanboy rhetorics of the worlds, keep that same energy, dog. Let me say it again. Keep that same energy. When it's all said and done, are we really surprised at what we're seeing in front of us? Or was this something that was always evident right in front of our eyes from day fucking one? That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat teller fashion. I keeps the foot on the whoop, yeeks. I keeps the foot on the whoop, yeeks. This is He Knows Everything. Check it out.
ahead, he knows.